What's up vlog? It's Victoria. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to today's video. As you saw from the title, today I'm going to be doing a video that gives advice for all future exchange students. If you're new here, I'm Victoria and I am currently studying abroad as a Rotary Youth Exchange student for the 2022-2023 school year in Belgium, and I'm currently documenting everything on this YouTube channel. I have officially been in Belgium for over 6 months now, but I decided it was time to give you a little advice since I've been here for a while and we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
I have separated this video into a couple categories as far as advice for you guys, and I will put those categories down in the description box below if you want to jump to a specific category. But for now, we're just going to jump right into the first category. The first category is packing. For packing, I do want to say I have a packing list that I will link in the description box below. Obviously, this is going to be a little different for everyone, but this is the packing list that worked for me, so it might be helpful for you too. And my first point, try not to overpack. And I know everyone's going to be telling you this, but it's so important, especially if you want to have room to bring stuff back to your home country. I actually ended up overpacking some things and then underpacking some things. For example, I brought one pair of pants with me on exchange. I don't know why I thought that was an appropriate number of pants for a year-long exchange, but learn from me and bring more than one pair of pants. I have since had to buy pants. Next point is do not bring hair tools. And this is hair straighteners, curling irons, hair dryers. If you are somebody who uses a hair tool every single day, it will be better to just buy it in your host country or borrow it because a lot of your host families will have stuff available. This is because the voltage and the plugs in other countries is going to be different than your home country, and you don't want to bring something that's not going to work and it's just going to take up space and weight in your luggage. Don't bring stuff you don't wear. If you don't wear it in your home country, you likely will not wear it in your host country. I brought all my favorite clothes and I have been very happy with it because I have worn them and enjoyed them. Important paperwork. This kind of has its own little category in of the category. With all my important paperwork, visa, passport, school transcripts, acceptance letters, etc., I put them in a bright white binder. And I really would recommend you put your paperwork in a binder or folder, some sort of organizer that works best for you. You want to have those important papers available and easy to find and easy to flip to the one you need, and keep all your important papers together. This next part is things that I recommend packing. Pocket charger, like a little portable charger you can rely on. I brought my own pillowcases. I'm kind of picky. I have a silk pillowcase. I also brought a stuffed moose back there. His name is Oscar. If you have anything sentimental like that, bring it, but don't bring like all your baby blankets. A lot of adapters for the wall. I brought 2, and there have been times that I wanted 3 or 4. Bring enough adapters for your devices. And I printed out like 50 photos, and then I have them on my wall in my room right now. Definitely ask your host family if they're okay with you hanging stuff on your wall, how they recommend doing that. It's been a really nice conversation starter when people come into my room, and it's been really nice because I'm like, oh, that's my sister, that's my brother. It also just makes my room feel more like home. Next thing I recommend is a journal. I really enjoy it and I think it's a really nice way to document your exchange. And it's also really good for your feelings because you have a lot of those on exchange. Next thing I recommend is solid basic tops, because then you can layer and it's really easy to put an outfit together. Last point in my packing section is that I was able to use Amazon, and then you're also able to go to the store if you ever need anything. Next category, leaving. I just want to say it's going to be a little different for every single person that goes on exchange. Everyone has different attachments to their hometown and to their family and stuff like that. But for a lot of people, saying goodbye is going to be really difficult, and that's completely normal. For me, I was really lucky because I've gone to summer camp all of my life. I was ready for the aspect of kind of being on my own. Just remember, it's completely normal for it to be difficult for you to leave. You're about to embark on the most exciting adventure ever. Take a breath and go to your airport terminal. A flight is normally very, very stressful. I would definitely recommend listening to music or reading a book or watching a movie on the flight. I actually slept the entire flight because I went to a concert the night before my flight, so I was okay, but I have heard some horror stories. If you're not used to traveling, by yourself, I definitely would recommend making a list of each thing you have to do. Go through security, fill up my water bottle, go to my gate. And I remember I did that my first couple times flying alone, is I made a list of everything I needed to do. Next category, starting your exchange, so your first month kind of. The first point I have is everything is new and scary at first, so be patient and breathe. You're going to get to your host country and you're going to unpack, and then you sit down and you're like, now what do I do? But you're gonna breathe and you're gonna take a second, and then you're probably gonna go to your host family and find something to do. You are on a high your first week. Guys, I did not believe this at all. I thought it was a lie. I thought it was a scam. And it's great. So live in that high, enjoy every second of it, and then once it hits you later that you're on your own in another country, that's okay. That's a problem for your future self. Be ready for weird questions. So I am from America. A lot of people like to ask me about guns. A lot of people like to ask me if there are cowboys in Texas. Also, know your geography, know about like political stuff that's happening in your state specifically, and obviously in your country. Don't go to another country and be a bad ambassador for your home country. You want to be able to answer questions. This is part of the reason exchange works, is because you are there and you're able to teach people firsthand about your country. And that's really important. So you want to make sure you have those facts. Next point, I said take all the opportunities. Please say yes to everything. My last point in this section, to set the lock screen on your phone as a collage of pictures of your family, things you like to do, stuff like that. When I was trying to learn the language and explain things at first, and instead of being like, oh, let me look through my phone and find a picture, I was able to just click the power button and be like, here's what I'm talking about. Next category, host families. If you're going on a high school exchange, 9 times out of 10 you will have a host family. College exchanges are a little different. A lot of times you're staying at a university in your host country, but because I'm on a high school exchange, I can kind of talk about this point. First thing I have is gifts. I could not figure out what to get my host family. Since being here, I have realized that cutting boards are a really good gift. Like state-specific cutting boards, if you can find them, and like bonus points if they're made by a local person in your town. I don't know about everyone else, but Belgians eat a lot of bread. If you paint or if you're artistic in any way, it can be nice to like make them a gift. I painted my second host family a cutting board of like the beach, because I'm from the beach, and they seem to really like that. Little things like magnets and postcards are also really nice. Remember, you don't have to get your host family like a huge gift, but it will be nice to get them something that's kind of specific to your town, your state, stuff like that. Try to be involved in your host family. Try to help with dishes. Try to clean around the house. Go walk the dog. Ask if you can do any chores, stuff like that. And then always be honest and open about the relationship and about how you're feeling and how you're doing, because that will help you so much. The final thing I have is first night questions. I can link some of those down below. I actually got my first night questions from my Rotary Club, and it kind of goes through stuff that you're going to want to ask your host family pretty soon after you arrive. Questions about laundry, questions about what foods you can eat, questions about if you can have food in your room. Next category, school. School rules and cultures may be a little different, so if you're able to get a list of the rules before starting, that could be really helpful. I personally did not, but I got my handbook the first day of school, so I went through and read through that before the second day of school. Make sure you take classes that you enjoy, if at all possible, if you're able to choose your classes. This obviously is going to depend if you need the credits or if your credits are counting for back in your home country. I actually ended up taking all the same classes as a regular student. I know a lot of exchange students have gone ahead and asked for all the art classes or music classes, and that's been a little bit easier on them. Participate in school. You are an exchange student. This is so important. There are so many exchange students that I know personally that have gone and then chosen not to participate in school because it doesn't count for them. But participating in school will make school way less boring. You're gonna make friends faster, and you will learn the language faster. And honestly, the exchange student card only works for so long. As far as school supplies, I wouldn't recommend packing any. Wait until after the first day and see what you're actually gonna need. Just go ahead and get it there. If you're gonna bring anything, bring like 10 pieces of notebook paper for the first day. Very helpful on the first day to go up to all your teachers and in your host language, obviously, be, hey, my name's Victoria, I'm an exchange student, just wanted to let you know. And they were all really nice about it. Last thing for my school section is Join clubs or sit with different people if you can. Now, I know a lot of times in European schools, the sports and the clubs are not going to be associated with the school, but you can definitely sit with different people during classes. That's a really good way to meet people. And even if you go up to them and you're like, hey, I'm an exchange student, can I sit here? Because I don't know anyone. 9 times out of 10, they'll be like, yes, absolutely, you're so cool. Next section, homesickness. Let me just start by saying it happens. I was one of those people who was like, I'm not gonna get homesick. I don't know why I thought that. I was really lucky because I've been away from home before, but it's still hard. It's still gonna be difficult to be away from everything you know. And you're just gonna wanna like accept it. Honestly, as bad as that sounds, just accept it. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with being homesick. It is completely normal, completely natural. And it doesn't make you any less of a person or any less of an exchange student. Kind of what caught me up. I was like, I am doing such a bad job being an exchange student because I am homesick. No, that's not how it works, guys. It happens. You will be okay, I promise. As far as dealing with homesickness, I would definitely say that's where like your comfort snacks are gonna come in. Maybe some music you like to listen to. But you don't want to rely on all that too much, because if you eat 42 bags of goldfish, you're just gonna feel sick. It can be really helpful to go tell your host family like, hey, I'm feeling homesick, and that will really help. Try to stay off your phone, stay away from those goldfish, and go do something. Next section, health. I like to think I am generally a very healthy person. Once I got to my host country, I got sick like 4 times within the first month, and it was not cute. I would recommend bringing a couple over-the-counter medications that you use regularly. Definitely though, like let your host family know what you're taking and why you're taking it. Headaches, I got a lot of those. And nosebleeds, I have heard of a lot of people getting nosebleeds when they first got to their host country. This is because the air is probably going to be a little different than what you're used to. The climate's going to be a little different. Your body's going to do some different things because you're in a totally different area. Know about your health insurance. Know about if you have health insurance, travel insurance, etc. Or kind of do some research before you go to your host country. Figure out a little bit about how the health system works. This is so important. Please listen to this. Weight gain on exchange is normal. It's gonna change. It happens. First of all, weight gain in general, weight fluctuation in general is normal. Weight gain on exchange is very, very common because food is a huge part of many cultures, and you're eating very differently, you're working out differently, you're doing different types of activity, and it's completely normal for your body to change. While you're on exchange, you're there for 6 months, you're there for a year. Just live in the moment, take it all in, enjoy every second. If you're in Belgium, eat a couple waffles. They're not gonna hurt you. Okay, if you're somebody that has periods, be aware that your cycle may change a little bit while you're abroad. Again, this has to do with your eating, your sleeping habits, your hormones might be a little off, and that's okay. Don't freak out. You're fine. Acne and dry skin, stuff like that is also normal because the air is going to be a little different. The climate's a little different. Just important to remember. Just take care of yourself, stay healthy, stay happy. Next category, language. If you're watching this video and you are getting ready to go on exchange and you will be learning a new language, please start working on it right now. As soon as you click off this video, go download Duolingo, find a book in your host language. Please, please, please start working on it. A couple things that helped me before going to learn the language were watching movies in French, listening to music in French. Duolingo, I have had downloaded to my phone for a while. I have a streak over 200 days. Pimsleur, I did use. Do whatever you can to learn the language before you go on exchange. Don't compare yourself to other exchange students, especially as far as the language goes. Everybody has their own strengths and weaknesses, and as long as you're doing your very best, that's what matters. Never, ever, ever, ever use your mother tongue if you can help it at all. If it's not an emergency, please speak your host language because this will help you so, so much. I would say a dictionary for school is going to help you more than Google Translate because then you're not reliant on your phone. The best way to learn a language is to speak the language. So the best advice I got was like, talk like a baby. Even if that means you're babbling a little bit, like babies do not stop talking unless they get what they want. So that's kind of what you gotta do. You just gotta keep trying over and over and over. Trial and error. Obviously, you can admit the part where like babies throw a hissy fit when they don't get what they're trying to do. Next category, friends. This is a really big concern for a lot of exchange students. I actually have been pretty lucky about making friends. And again, you can just say like, hey, I'm an exchange student. I don't know anyone. Can I sit here? Hey, can we hang out? Finding friends can be hard. This is true literally everywhere, not just on exchange. But just be open about it. Be open to new ideas, be open to new people, new attitudes. They don't reach out and make plans with you first. You can make plans. Everybody wants friends. Everybody wants something to do. So hang out with people that aren't just exchange students. I've had so much fun and I've learned the language so much more. And the last point for making friends, kind of obvious, but be nice to everyone. Like, honestly, be nice to everyone in general, not on exchange, just in life, be nice. Next section is about money. This is gonna be a little different for everyone. Everyone has a different financial situation. That is totally okay. I think it's important to know how much money you have and know how to budget. Remember, like, you are an adult. If you're going on exchange, you are adulting. Don't be so careful that you miss out on experiences that you'll never get again. Just be careful with like the things you do spend your money on, and is this going to be something that I am happy to spend my money on 10 years from now. You can also fundraise before you leave, or for the holidays and birthdays leading up to your exchange, you can ask for funding towards your exchange. And that's what I did, and it was really helpful to have a little bit of pocket money and money for different trips that I wanted to go on. And just in general, be aware of what you're spending. Your exchange is already going to be expensive, so don't make it impossible by going shopping every week. If you are setting up a bank account when you get there, make sure you do some research beforehand and call your credit card company. Ask about international fees. They'll have a lot of information for you. I know for me, my host family helped me set up a bank account when I got to my host country, because for the Rotary Club I get a stipend every month. Final section, hopefully my camera doesn't die while I'm trying to do this, miscellaneous. I'm gonna start off with keep the bedroom door open if you can handle it. You don't want to lock yourself in the room a lot. If you're going on exchange and your only goal is to travel, please rethink. And please remember that this is going to be a cultural experience. This is going to be a big growth experience, a learning experience, but you don't want your only goal to be traveling. And if you do, you might want to pick a different kind of program. Next up, it goes by so fast. I cannot believe I am in month 6, but enjoy it. And even if it's a bad day, it's a bad day in another country, and you could be having a bad day in your home country too. There are extreme highs and extreme lows, and that's part of the experience. It is okay to feel those things. It's exciting to feel those things. It's important, and it's going to make your exchange year so much better to just recognize this is okay and this is normal. Document it. Obviously, I'm doing a lot of documenting in a lot of different ways. I have a travel journal. I have a journal for feelings. I have the vlog. Anyway, my camera died. When you're going out, make sure you have a plan, a time to be back, etc. And remember that transportation may be a little different in your host country than your home country, so make sure you have a ride or you know what transportation you're taking, just so you don't get caught in any weird situation. Kind of know about your country, know what your weather's going to be like, that sort of thing, and it will make it so much easier to get used to it all. And yeah, that's about all the advice I have. I know this was a incredibly long video, but I hope it was helpful. I hope you enjoyed, and if you have any questions, you can put them in the comment section. I hope you all have the most incredible exchange, the most incredible exchange year, and I will see you next week in another video. Bye guys! Hi, can I call you back in like 20 minutes? I'm filming a YouTube video.